Hey YouTube, Sarah's 13 here. This is going to be a couple of things I'm going to talk about here. One, first and foremost, is my dad. It's been a week. He actually passed away last Wednesday, about 6:25 in the morning. Cancer finally metastasized and went through his body, and then by Wednesday, it was pretty well situated in his brain as well. It basically, that was it for him. My dad was a very, very good man. He did lots and lots of stuff for his communities that he lived in, being Vancouver and Richmond and wherever. One of the things about my dad is he loved his family. He's got three grandkids by my sister, the youngest one being about 17 months old, and his name is Jake. There's actually a video of him eating some cake for the first time on my channel. He was very supportive of all his family members, no matter what they were doing. I'm in a band called Liminus, and every time we had shows, my dad and my mom were there. I think they only ever missed 2 or 3 shows, and it was usually because if they missed them, they were out of town, or one of the 2 of them was sick. But they never missed them, and they were always there. And we played some pretty heavier stuff, middle grade and acoustic-y type stuff too, but they never missed them. They were always there. And my friends, everyone that met him just thought he was pretty cool. You guys think I'm cool for an old guy, you should have met him. He was pretty damn cool. I mean, what other guy 70 years of age at the time, or 71 I think, would wear 2 different colored shoes, Converse All-Stars? Just my dad, you know. I remember one time my dad had a bit of a temper when we were kids, and if we pissed him off, we'd get a backhand on more than one occasion. But there was one time when I thought for sure he was going to beat the crap out of me. I had a party at my house, and I guess somebody found a box of wine in the back, in the cellar, and we drank it all of it, the whole case of wine. I think I probably downed almost 2 bottles myself and ended up throwing up or something. I was about 15 or 16. I thought I was going to catch shit for that, so I fessed, and he basically thanked me because apparently it was cheap, crappy, homemade wine. So that was the one time I thought I did something wrong, and he thanked me for it. Also, my folks had separated for many years, and after my sister's wedding, they decided, you know what, I think we were fated to be together. So they ended up renewing their vows, because they never technically divorced, so they just renewed their vows. And it was cool because the broken family was back together, and I got to be my dad's best man at the vow renewal ceremony. That was pretty cool, pretty emotional too. And I always knew that he regretted the separation anyways. You could see it, because he was always making sure I called my mom and make sure she was okay and how she was doing, blah blah, that kind of stuff. When I got married, for the brief time I was married, I should probably tell you first, he had a bit of a disruption with his brother and sister over, I don't even know what it was about, but they hadn't talked to each other in years. And when I got married, I invited my aunt and uncle, his brother and sister, to the wedding. At first he was like, but everything went fine and okay without a hitch, and it didn't really bring them back together, but it was all good, and he did it because he knew that it was my wedding and that I wanted things to be done. It was our wedding at the time, my myself and my ex, and we wanted things to be good, so he didn't raise a stink about it. And the guy, man, him and I, whenever we got together, like with the family or for dinner or whatever, we laughed so much because my sense of humor and his sense of humor are quite similar, warped and weird and just cheesy, corny, dry, whatever, right? So there was always unstoppable laughter at the table, especially after a few scotches, because we used to like to drink Glenfiddich. The one thing about my dad that brought him, I would say, almost to a sainthood, is ever since the 60s, on a dare, I think it was, with his college buddies, they decided they were going to go give blood. Well, all of them were there giving blood. He didn't really want to, but he ended up doing it. So he was hooked from that moment on for giving blood. Anyway, he ended up, through his whole life, he ended up donating 532 times of blood-related products. It wasn't always whole blood. It was whole blood or platelets or plasma, stuff like that. Anyways, through his 532 donations, which is staggering, it was a BC, where I live, British Columbia, record, and he was second overall in Canada, I believe. His donations were instrumental in either saving or prolonging almost 1,500 people's lives. The doctor that he dealt with mostly told me that they had called him in the middle of the night sometimes because they needed him for his blood type, which was B negative, which apparently is fairly rare. They needed his blood type for emergency operations, and he didn't hesitate, jumped out of bed, got dressed, and went to the Canadian Blood Services or the Red Cross or wherever and donated right then and there and saved people's lives. That's the kind of man he was. And also, I don't understand why somebody of that stature has to be taken from us this way. It's just not fair. Cancer like that. He saved people with cancer's lives. And then he's taken by it. It's almost ironic. And it's sad. And I'll tell you right now, I'm doing everything I can to not get emotional. I apologize if I do. You can understand why, obviously. I loved my father very much. We had a great relationship for most of our lives. There was a time when we didn't talk, but that's just the way it was. Also, I'd like to let you guys know that one more of the dust settles from all of this, because it's still pretty hard. It's still very strange to be without my dad, because I'm always expecting him to walk into the room or to hear him whistling. He was known as the Whistler in a lot of places that we went. I always said, well, I was saying before that he was very involved with community and stuff like that. He was involved with the Richmond Sockeyes hockey club. He was involved with the Richmond Cycling Club. His club was partially responsible for getting bike lanes put into Richmond. He volunteered as an umpire for Richmond Minor Baseball Association, which I ended up playing for like 11 years, I think. He did things for people. He'd give you the shirt off his back if he could. He's very much going to be missed. I think one of the saddest things is my little nephew Jake won't even remember it. So we'll have to regale him with some stories about Dad, so that at least he has a picture in his mind of what my dad was and what he was about. Dad was just, let's just say you knew he was in the room. He had a presence. Kind of like, people tell me I have a presence too. I didn't have a presence quite like his. He was loud. He whistled a lot. Usually some cheesy old TV theme song like The Love Boat or The Andy Griffith Show or Taxi or something that was like high pitched and You could always hear him coming when I was playing baseball. I knew he was coming to see me, so you could hear him whistling something. Um, and he was known because he also used to whistle at the hockey games. I think he was involved with the Booster Club or whatever there as well. And he always walked around the rink saying hello to people, whistling tunes, and everybody knew him there as the Whistler. And when my friends found out that my dad was the Whistler, they all knew him as the Whistler. They were all pretty shocked, and actually I felt like, well, my dad's kind of a celebrity, and in a way he was. He'd been on TV a few times already for his blood donations, stuff like that. Anyway, it's been pretty hard. It's been really hard to see my mom go through this. He was the love of her life. She's afraid to be alone, so my sister and myself are trying to be with her as much as possible, especially for the first while, so that we can keep her upbeat. The family and our community actually has been excellent and awesome through all of this. They've all been there. We've had housefuls of people at my sister's place or at my parents' place. Everyone's sitting around eating food, drinking, talking about dad. It's been very good for her, I think, because at least now she knows what kind of a person he was and how many people he affected, and how many people loved him, because hundreds of people showed up. He touched a lot of people, and I think it's important that people know that, especially about his donations and things he did for his community. I tell you, when I'm all said and done here, I hope I'm half the man he was, because it's going to be tough to beat that. But I'll do my best. I have already said that I will continue his blood donations in his honor, and there's a few friends of mine that are also going to do the same. Anyway, there's other people that I want to address directly, like David, Begin the Uprising. Hopefully you're doing well. Your newest videos are leaning to the fact that you're getting better, that things are going better for you, I should say. And another one is Mecca Jayun, who is also going through some tough times too. Hopefully you're doing better too. Some shout outs I'd like to do. Obviously Mecca Jayun and Begin the Uprising are the first two. Tbert325, who's been, texting me and stuff and sending me messages, making sure I'm okay. The guy's a genuinely awesome guy and a caring person. You should sub him, because he'll befriend you. He did me. And he's a great guy. GHopper85, MCole40, Robbie, people know him as, Holy Cheetos, Amazing Cajun, VCTRFS, Beijing Coke, Darkwings OXO, Dex Silent Enigma, and Driz TO4. Those are my shoutouts. If I forgot anyone, my bad. I could only remember so many people off the top of my head. I will be doing some more videos soon. Like I was saying before, once the dust settles a little more, I'm going to do some binder videos for trading or whatever, so you guys can see what I've got, and if you're interested in anything, you can PM me. But that's coming soon. And of course, locals and stuff like that, tournaments. I'll do my best to get some videos of some games that that I'm playing or whatever, or the people that are having decent matches. I think that's about it. That's all I really needed to do, was just update you guys and let you know. And this is starting to get quite long, so I want to cut it short because it takes forever to upload on my hunk of crap. This little netbook thing here. Yeah, so I'll talk to you guys soon. Sabres 13 swinging for game.